What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial, and today I'm gonna show you on how to make a very simple pause menu. It's gonna be a very easy video to follow, so let's get started. But first, check out the link in the description to get out with some Unreal Engine courses on Winfox. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create a new user interface widget blueprint. It's gonna be a normal user widget. It's gonna be called wb_pause menu. So this is basically gonna be the UI itself, and where we're gonna go ahead and have all the buttons and stuff. So in the palette, we're gonna go ahead and search for a canvas panel and just add it into the hierarchy over here. Now, if for some reason you didn't see any of these windows, you can just go into window and then open up the palette, hierarchy, etc. Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna go ahead and add is a vertical box. So now we can just go ahead and place all the buttons that we need, and it will automatically place all together. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead and kind of center this and get the anchors. You just put them in corner. This is just important to make sure that the widget will basically, and the UI will rescale if whichever the window resolution changes and stuff. So now we can just drag a button inside of this, and then we can just rename this to be the resume button. And then we're gonna go ahead and let me just put the R correctly. We can just go ahead and get the text and just put it inside of the button itself. And now we can just put this to be resume. And now I think that I like to do is just change a bit the colors of basically the UI and stuff. So the color and opacity, we're gonna put them into be white, and then the background color just a bit darker, kind of this. And there we go. You can of course customize as you want the buttons. And then another thing that we're gonna go ahead and do is just duplicate this button, and now we'll have the exit button. Okay, and then we're gonna change the text to be exit, and then we can go into the exit button and then just add some padding on the top. So for example 35, something like that. So now we have resume and exit. Now another thing to do, even though we're not gonna implement the functionality today, we're gonna duplicate this and put in options button. Now I do have a tutorial on a simple options menu, so I will be basically leaving it in the description, just in case you want to basically go ahead and look at it. So it's gonna be basically options, and then again the padding on the top is gonna be 35. So now it's all nice and neat and separate from each other and in a cool list over here. So let's go quickly and add some functionality of the main buttons. So the easiest one and the fastest one is going to be exit. So let's start with this one. So yes, selected, go down into the events. It's going to be on clicked. So we're going to also delete all the other stuff. We don't need that. So on the clicked for the exit is quit game, and that's it. We'll basically quit the game. Now if whatever reason you already have a pause menu and you want to, a main menu, you want to go into that main menu, you can just go ahead and open level by name and just put the main menu here. Now I also have a main menu tutorial, so I'll be linking it in the description just in case you want to take a look. So in that case, I'm gonna just plug in quit game for the purpose of this tutorial. It's gonna see quit. Okay. So now what we're going to do is click the resume button, and then on clicked, what we want to do is put this a bit down. And what I'm gonna do is set game pause to be false, and then basically remove from parent, which is here. So later on from the player, we'll implement the functionality that this will basically enable, and here it will basically disable. Okay, so now I'm also gonna select everything, press C, it's gonna mean resume, so it's all nice and neat and organized. Great, like I mentioned before, the options menu, I'm not going to do it today because I already have to tutorial on that, so I'll be linking it in the description. Okay, so now let's go ahead and be able to open this panel from the player key. Now there's one more thing that I want to do into this UI, and it's quickly just make it a bit prettier by just getting a blur and just putting the background blur. It's going to be just on top of the vertical box, and then it's going to be the whole anchors on the screen, and all this set to 0 and 0, so we'll extend in the whole screen. And then the padding is going to be something as 3. Sorry, the padding, no, the blur strength is going to be something as 3. And another thing to do is get an image real quick, put it right on top of the background blur, and set the anchors to be the whole screen again, and put the offset to be 0, 0, and then we can get the tint, just put it in to be more darker, and then get the opacity to put it in something like 0.25. So now it will be a nice UI over here, and it separates from the game to the buttons. Great. And also I'm gonna add a text over here. It's gonna say pause menu real quick. There we go. Put it over here. It's gonna be a bit centered, and then the font is gonna be a bit bigger. And then we're going to just put it over here real quick, and then put the anchors to be on the corners so it can rescale correctly. Great. Now we can go ahead and close it. And now what we're going to do is go into the third person character blueprint and open this up. Now, of course, if you're using any other character blueprint, you can go ahead and use that one. So we have two ways of doing this. We can just go ahead and type the escape key, or we can make a proper input action, which is what I'm going to do. So just go into the input folder in your content example content browser, go into actions, and then we can go ahead and just search for input action. It's gonna be EA_pause game. I left the capital letter over here. Let me see if I can change it. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and open this, and the only thing that we have to change here is trigger one pause, because the game will be paused and we want to press escape again to resume. So we're gonna put that on, and then we just need to go into the collection, and just in the mappings we can just add a new one and then put on here the pause game. And now it's gonna be with the escape key, so you can just click in here and press the escape key on your keyboard. Now we can go ahead and close this, go into the third person character and search for EA_pause game. It's gonna be the first one with the arrow, and then on started, what we're going to do is go ahead and create a new variable. It's gonna be pause menu open, and basically we're gonna go ahead and get it and make a branch. So if actually what we're gonna do is make a not boolean, so it will be a bit better. So if it's not opened, we're gonna go ahead and create it. So just create widget from the true. The class is gonna be our pause menu that we have just created. The only input is gonna be get player controller. There we go. And then what to do is right click and promote to our variable. It's gonna be our pause menu widget. It's just so we can delete it afterwards. And then what we're going to do is just add it to the viewport, so it will be in the player's screen. And then what we're going to do is finally set the game to be paused over here, so it's gonna be true. There we go. And then in false, actually, first of all, the first thing I'm going to do in true is actually set it to be, well, true, because now we are, of course, with the menu opened. And in false, well, basically we'll set it to false. And then what we can do is just get the pause menu widget, just drag it and get it, and then remove from parent. And then we'll just go ahead and remove this over here from the screen. And then what we're gonna do is get the game pause, drag it, put it over here, and then it's gonna be on paused. So now if I were to press play, you will see I can play the game, and I can press escape. It will pause the game, and this pause menu will actually appear on the screen. Now the thing is that I can press escape again and go back to the game, but the mouse doesn't actually appear, so I cannot press any of the buttons. So in order to go ahead and do this, what we can do is just go before we set the game to pause when we create the widget. I'm gonna go ahead and set the input mode to game and UI. So the player control will be, well, basically this one. Just plug it in over here, and then the in widget in focus, what we can do is just get the pause menu widget and just plug it over here. So now what we can do is one more thing, is get the player controller again, and then we can set cursor to be set show cursor. So now it will be true. So now we can see the mouse and we can control it. Great. And now what we're going to do is do the inverse when we go ahead and close the panel. So it's gonna be set input mode to be game only, and then the player controller will be once again the player controller. Just go ahead there, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this to widget, just plug it in here, and we'll do the inverse. So it will be false basically. Great. So it should be basically doing all correctly. We can go ahead and press play, open the game, and we can go ahead and click resume. And the thing that it actually didn't go back into the input mode, this is because we have to also do it in the widget. So if I were to go and open the widget, I can just go into the graph, go back here, and what I want to do is copy these two things. So set the input mode to game only, get the play controller, and then get the mouse. So we can just go here, paste it, and now this has to be before we remove from the parent. So no, if not, the widget will be destroyed and we cannot do anything. And then we just get the play controller again, copy paste over here, and then just go ahead and extend this so it fits everything. There we go. And then another thing I want to do is go from before we remove from parent and quickly cast to the third person character. So the object is going to be the get player character. It's going to be in the scene, and then we want to set pause menu opened to actually be false, because no longer we are, well, with the pause menu opened, so the flow of our code can continue even if we press the phone buttons or press any key. So now if I were to press play, press a key, it will basically stop the game. I have the mouse, I can click the buttons and stuff, and if I press escape again, I go back to the game. But if I were to press resume, it also goes perfectly, and if I were to press escape, exit the button, it will go ahead and exit the game. And of course in option, it doesn't do anything because we didn't implement the code, but I will be linking a video in the description. So that's it, guys. If you found this tutorial helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of Unreal Engine 5 tutorials on my channel, so if you want to check it out, go ahead. And oh yes, with all said, bye bye.